Let's say USD using a more deeper approach to understand how the trend line has been playing. We need to find out at every position where the market bought and where the market sold. So we'll be having our trend lines to represent our demand and supply. So we want to see, we have two trend lines to represent this market. The first trend line is the roof. The second trend line is the floor. The roof of this trend line will represent, this is the roof of the trend line, will represent supply, while the floor will represent demand. It is important to understand demand and supply level. Knowing demand and supply level will enable you hold a long time position for a longer peak. So we need to look back from the month of June to look at a price action. We have a support structure, break of a support structure, price return on retest, price return on retest, break of a resistance structure, and price made its way back again on break of the support structure, now become resistant, break of a resistance structure, price return on support, new demand. So we're looking at it on 4 hours. In order to get a clear directional bias, we must find out the history of the demand and the history of the supply. Every trend line have a history of demand and supply. Knowing it will enable you have a clear bias. So we have here is a support structure, also a retest candle. So we're going to label it so that we can call here RT SR. So let's hold here. Then price bought up, create a new high at this level. And on return due to the bearish impulse, broke the structure. If you look in a lower time frame, you will find a retest between the broken support structure. This is supposed to be a demand trend line because price is trading above the resistance structure. So it becomes a new demand. So a break of this structure on a lower time frame, you will find a retest, break and retest to further push price down. And when buyers try to make it up again, they got rejected. Price played around for a while and returned to the same structure. The resistance structure held price. We have here first RT, support structure, a break of a support structure, now a resistance roof. So we're also going to label it. We have here, it's also a retest candle, and we will label it as RT, ROS. It's a retest candle, and as a resistance becomes support. What does this mean in the future? We want to see price make its way back to a demand floor. If price returns to this level, trading above this line, it becomes a demand floor. If we break below, it becomes a supply roof. We sell from the roof and buy from the floor. The floor is the demand, the roof is supply. So this orthodox trading strategy is part of what makes up Xauusd. So when we return to this level, price got rejected again, sold off from the roof. So this is our supply roof. If you look critically, you will find out that market makers have a place of reference where they hide and execute trade. We stay within the zone. This is within the zone. So if we expand our zone to, let's say, plus minus 40 pips, this is within the sell zone. So selling adopted this roof, this trend line. This is a supply roof. And when we return again, price did the exact thing. So we'll be looking at it based on what they are doing. And the right thing to do is whenever we get to the supply roof, you sell and hold. You don't need to jump around like a kangaroo. When we get to the demand floor, you buy and hold. So price return here, RT, the retest candle, and as a resistance becomes support on breaker structure. So we have here again, and we have here again. And on getting to this place, price has played decently to the demand floor. So we are going to call the roof. We want to find out where is our roof and where is our floor. The importance of finding your roof is every sell happens from the roof. Every supply happens from the roof. We need to find our demand floor. Demand floor is where we trigger buys. You will find series of buy idea, series of buy sentiment on the floor. We call it demand floor. We call here supply roof. So we stay guided by the behavior and we watch for the change in character because it's always changing character that leads to break of structure. So this is our demand floor. And so every time price plays into the floor, we try to look critically. Was it a buy that touched the roof? We will find out if we are right or wrong. We have here, due to fundamental analysis, a support structure built, a very strong rejection level. We like to take note of this rejection level for the future because it becomes a place to watch out for possible buy. This would be a future demand floor. I will call it demand floor. Based on the character of price, on approaching this level, we had a massive rejection on the horizontal support, indicating that in the future, if price makes its way back, there are blocks by heavy institutions rejecting this level from further slide. The optic continued to create a structure that will give birth to an ascending demand supply trend line. So this structure came back on a double bottom. A double bottom, a bearish price action. We have the neckline broken, price retested and left to approach the supply roof, and price returned to the demand floor. On the demand floor, we made series of touches on the demand floor. Touch 1, touch 2, touch 3. We have touch 4, on the same ascending demand floor. This is our roof, this is our floor. So we can, on technical, say to be happy and successful with a very high win rate, it is best to sell from the supply roof and buy from the demand floor. For every time price have bought on the demand floor, it's in excess of 500 pips. For every time price has sold at the supply roof, in excess of 500 pips, because the idea is a touch to the supply roof is to touch the demand floor to create a resistance structure. So when price returned here, we found support. We found support, we found support. On the third support touch, price has moved to a new all-time high, consolidating on the roof. The touch on the roof one, supply roof one, touch the roof the second time, and price has returned back to the floor demand trend line. This is a buy. The close of Friday closed on the support. We'll be looking out for confluence. For every time price wants to do something, we look at confluence. Are there supporting evidence? Do we have a supporting evidence to a buy floor? Yes, we do have a supporting evidence. A double confluence, a descending trend line, meet an ascending trend line. This is a descending trend line. We have here resistance structure, break of a resistance structure, price return to create a descending trend line. They both become a reference, and I will change the color to black, make it easier to see. So when price return here, I will call here my SR. So this is an SR level, and we return again on the same SR level. So price return on this same SR level, and we had a double confluence. The double confluence we will represent as DC. What made here a double confluence? A double confluence is the point where price ends its indecision. There's always a battle between buyers and sellers to create a break of structure. But if there is a double confluence, then we look at the rates the price is playing. We broke here a support structure, is a resistance structure, broken, return. This becomes a support structure, price return on the support structure. The third retest, we had a double confluence with an ascending trend line. I would also like to change the color of this trend line. I like purple occasionally. So price has left. Ladies and gentlemen, the trade has changed direction. But we will find out if we will go beyond where we are. We are searching for opportunities. We are searching for confluence. So we look from the roof, the 4 hours roof. You will find we play with the body of the candle has priced broken the 4 hours resistance roof. This is the new chart pattern we have. So we have here resistance structure, resistance structure, resistance structure. This has created a new resistance trend line. You can see it. It's also descending because we started playing lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high until we got to this point and price is back. So we cannot move further until we break out from this structure. If we break out from this structure, then we will have something like this. A further, we'll have a structure this way. It will be a breakout of a descending structure, and we move back to the supply roof where a lot of institutions have placed their money. I may call this a bearish order block zone where liquidity will be swept. So if they manage to bring the needed liquidity to push price to this zone, it will be what it will be. But in excess of 2,700 per ounce of gold. So this is where price will head to. A breakout from this structure. Case 2, price closed below the resistance structure, indicating that the coming week might continue to play along. So we could get back to this level. We could get back to this level. This is a buying demand floor and try one more or price break below this level completely. So we have two case scenarios. This is case 1, this is case 2. Case 1 is price breaking above the roof resistance structure, a temporary sell trap region. If you look critically every time price returns on this zone, it's always a sell. We sold here, and bought here. So even on a lower time frame, the key thing is to look for where is your supply roof, where is your demand floor. So if we're looking at it from a higher time frame, we still need to look out for supply roof and demand floor. From this structure we see here, this is our roof, this is our floor. So for every time price gets to the floor, allow it to get to the roof to complete the cycle, the behavior. Allow the sentiment to be complete. The sentiment is that price moves from the buy floor to approach the supply roof to meet a temporary resistance or break of that resistance become a current support for upswing. So if we are expecting more uptick from SAUUSD, we want price to break the roof and take us back to the long-term supply roof. This is our supply roof. So we had a last post on this using a different approach. Then we went into a more serious look into the structure to see the history of demand and the history of supply. So the graphical representation of the supply demand behavior can be best understood from the structures here. So we look at it and be guided. So we'll look again the last approach to see we had a breakout which we will not fail to address this breakout and to further see if price is ready to head to the roof. So when we look at this structure critically, we will see here that price started playing from here. So we have here the support structure, break of a support structure, retest, retest, retest. So we also like to code them with a name. But let's put a circular box on all the retest zone to understand the behavior, to understand we are buying, we are selling lies. When price return here, we sold because we sold before here. Now, the whole aim was to get to the supply roof. But before price gets to the supply roof, there needs to be grab of liquidity from the demand floor. So when price came back and picked up liquidity at this floor,